Welcome to Sips with Chris, and we're all in red because it's
Lunar New Year.
Yes.
And welcome to the new year again.
I know. Happy Lunar New Year.
And it has a special significance, the year of the horse, the fire horse specifically. And in honor of that, I brought something that I've had in my closet for a while. So it's my liquor closet. So it is my Remy Martin Lunar New Year box. Because it is the year of the horse, you got energy, passion,
I'm gonna move this
and
out of the way.
forward momentum. So that I'm gonna make a little cocktail for you in a second as well. But as we open this box, we're gonna do it really quickly. This is one of these specialty boxes you rarely see. So it has some animals on it as well, but it's also a tray and a special XO bottle. And cheers to an amazing year. So these is one of those boxes that you can rarely find. And I don't think they make this one anymore. Shaker. And for those that really understand the new year and what it really means, this is a shaker for your dice. So I'm not going to go into the game that you actually play with it. A couple of my buddies in Oakland and Chinatown taught me very well. But these glasses are phenomenal. And Remy does some really good things. But in honor of Remy,
So pretty. I just love the box. It's one of those keepsakes. You're like, okay, do I want to open the bottle? Do I want to save it for a special occasion? It's real pretty.
And speaking of the fire horse, it's one of my things of passion is cognac. So I already did 2 ounces of Remy with a little bit, with 2 dashes of Pashad's bitters. Actually, one of my favorites. And then I'm gonna do another local favorite. It is a spiced pear liqueur from St. George Spirit in Alameda, California. Do 1 ounce of that on top of that. And then that's really good. But then what we're going to do is our own little version of a French 75. I call it a fire horse.
You know what? Because I always have to top my
Wachira wine.
my cocktails with a little Wachira.
So this is the Wachira wine, sparkling. Blanc de Blanc.
Thank you, my love. Yeah.
One of the biggest things for Lunar New Year is forward momentum. How are you going to unlock your forward momentum for the year?
The key thing is to not stand in my way. It's been a lot of, twists and turns this last couple of years.
Cheers. Thank you. Perfect.
Oh, that's really good. That's really, really, that's really good. That's really good.
Smooth cognac, Pashad's, and Wachira sparkling.
Yeah.
But your passion.
Yeah, so not standing in my way. Just recognizing, it's time to, cut my losses and move on. I'm one of those people who I'm very data oriented. And so I like to try things, learn fast. If it's going to work, it works fast. If it's going to fail, it fails fast. I learn from it and I move on to the next. The challenge sometimes is being a data person. I'm stuck in analysis. I'm like trying to, just one more round of data, just a little more information. And that in of it's be the foundation of failure because it's taking too long to make a decision to move forward. So just not stand in my way that way.
I call that part of the problem with bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
We both worked in corporate America and in medical, but you're a lot longer than me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned is I'm more of a emotional person because I've been in consulting and trusting that gut.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I call it that yin and yang of our relationship, personally and professionally. We balance each other out. Mm-hmm. When she gets in that analysis phase, I'm like, okay, no, this will work. Let's just do it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right.
Sometimes you're right.
But we balance each other pretty well. Yeah, so it's good to find you have that passion, but then that forward momentum, like she said, is getting out of your own way and allowing that counsel from whatever corner it comes from to enter in.
Now, the other question we got for this week's Sips with Chris is, so Lunar New Year is about legacy, I guess, right? It's about history and legacy, and how does legacy sort of shape our company, our brands? How would you say that does for you?
It's about legacy and understanding, for me, my ancestors. My grandmother was an entrepreneur, but also an educator. The things that she wasn't allowed to do, but things that she did that she was told she wasn't allowed to do. And she was a trailblazer in many ways. But at the same time, when you find your passion and you stick with it, and that's what she did, nothing will stand in your way. When you believe in you and you've had people and your ancestors and you following that legacy, if you're from a family of entrepreneurs and they've owned restaurants or stores, or family of physicians where it's your passion too and it was theirs, and if it's not your passion, being able to find what your passion is and do it just as much and give it your all. And it's that dedication. That's another part of this year's Fire Horse as well. Dedication and, forward momentum. You have to be dedicated to moving forward. And then that's the question we need to ask ourselves. Are you dedicated to moving forward? And that means moving all the obstacles out of your way.
For me, legacy is about staying true to who I am, and knowing that I am enough, and whatever I bring to the table is enough. And every room that I do walk into, every room that I do step into, I belong in that room. Right? So don't second guess yourself, not second guessing, my knowledge, my achievements, my whatever my qualifications, whether I should be at a table or not. If I am at a table, it's because I'm supposed to be at that table. Right?
Things that the year of the Fire Horse really stand for: energy and freedom and forward momentum. We talked about energy and passion. If you have that energy, and it's going to be a year of high energy. Think about all the things that have happened this year already and all the frustration and stress. Take that and use that for your energy to make things right, to move things forward, for that forward momentum. And then that passion, whatever your passion is. But now think about the energy and passion your ancestors or your parents or your people around you are using to move forward. And think about the freedom you have right now to do it, and the freedom they didn't have.
We just talked a little bit about that this evening, right?
Yeah.
Dinner for a very good dear friend, Tyrone. And we had this conversation around the dinner table about, sort of the intergenerational differences in terms of struggle, momentum, focus, discipline, and how, as with each passing generation or with each coming generation, the kids just sort of, it's a little easier
for us.
It's a little easier for us.
And we were the youngest in the room.
Yeah, so we don't have the challenges that they had, and so we may not fight as hard or last as long because we haven't had to struggle as much as they
and we
do.
may actually last longer because we didn't have to struggle as much as they had to struggle.
Right. But we also don't have that muscle memory. And then we talked a little bit about, the importance of being knowledgeable, being informed, and broadening your circles. Again, not being so insular that you're not aware of, the larger part of the community and what that is about, and what sort of the sauce of the larger community, right? The older folks have so much wisdom, again, right?
And that was one of the most wonderful things that I've learned, because I'm a talker, if you haven't noticed. And I've gotten in trouble for that throughout my life. However, I love the spaces where I don't open my mouth too much. It's spaces where I'm able to sit and listen and learn. And I really left there understanding I have a freedom that some of them didn't have. And the generations behind us have a freedom to be themselves and to do things that we weren't allowed to do. Whether it's age, whether it's race, whether it's gender, no matter what it is these days, we actually have a freedom to have that energy and passion, to us to have that forward momentum. You get on that horse, that fire horse, and ride it.
And there's so much that is so comforting about that, especially right now with, the world being, rough and tumbling and a lot telling you that, it's bad. Like the sky is constantly falling, right? These breaking news after breaking news and things are just wrong. I think, sort of leaning on that knowledge of the fact that there's so many generations that have come before us that have cemented the way for us to be free and to be able and capable to show up. Like we say, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are living our ancestors' dreams. So being able to be conscious about that recognize no matter how hard, no matter how challenging, no matter how difficult a day is or a situation is, that too will pass. You know why? Because genetically we have that muscle memory. We have the memory of being able to outlive and outlast those challenges, no matter how difficult it was. We've been able to outlast that as a people. And we are here today with this level of privilege, right? To where we can dream and we can, flourish in a way.
And we can learn.
And we can learn. Yeah.
And it's never too late.
It isn't. So happy
Lunar New Year. You're the fire horse. Grab the reins, ride the horse, and move forward.
Cheers.